Hello and welcome to PlayStation Racer. My name is Mitchell Morgan and today we're going to be doing another World Circuit race. But before we do that, I just want to go into the options and change the race difficulty from easy, because I've been doing some grinding, to hard, being the option that we're using for all of these races. We'll then go into the World Circuits and we're going to head across to the Americas. And the race that we're going to be doing today is at the Grand Valley Highway 1. So we'll just select that option. And then the last of the races that we need to do here is the Race of Turbo Sportscars. Now I do need to change my car. And for the 700 pp we've got plenty of options. So I'm just going to set it to performance points. We then come down to all of those that are around that mark. And the BMW VGT looks to be a very good option for this particular track. Although I've been running the daily races with the Mazda 3 recently. And I might actually go with that car just for a change. No real reason, just purely for a change. That suits the characteristics of or the requirements of this particular race. So let's get on with the Race of Turbo Sportscars at the Grand Valley Highway 1 in reverse. We've got 5 laps to go from last to first. So let's get into the race. So I'm just going to set the brake balance to full rear. I've also got the traction control on 0, which is my new option. As we get into the tunnel, I'm just going to leave it in 5th gear and just feather the throttle to overtake this Subaru on the right hand side. So we've just gone down the right hand side. As we come off the bridge, again I'm going to leave it in 5th and I'm looking for the 200 meter board, slowing it down, trying not to get into the back of the Nissan R35 in front of us. So I'm going to stay out to the right through here and just try and just feather the throttle, get around those 2 cars before the exit. And as we go across the bridge, going up through the gears, I'm just going to power past the Mitsubishi, also past the Porsche 911, and then get it slowed down into 3rd gear as we try and head through this little twisty section. Just trying to get past Rodriguez in front of us now, just being a little bit careful, don't want to ram too many people, don't want to force our way through, try and keep this clean as we can. This is another corner where you need to be very careful you don't go out too wide. I'm going to call out the gears and the braking points in a moment, but I just want to try and get through some of these back markers. And we've got 5 laps, so plenty of time to actually go through where the braking points, turning points, etc. As we're going up the hill here, again, just be very, very careful not to go out too wide. And I'm just using 2nd gear, just going to the back of the Mitsubishi. Really slow on the apexes, these AI cars at the moment. Very, very unrealistic in my opinion. And we could be going a lot further through some of these corners. But it does give you a really good overtaking opportunity. If you get one of the AI cars approaching a corner, just go to the inside, heavily brake, and you'll almost definitely manage to get up the inside. Saying that, that didn't happen on that occasion, so it's not always going to be the case. You've still got to be a little bit careful, but that car's falling back now. So we are coming up to start a new lap. The first thing we want to think about is, just as we go into the tunnel, we need to think about the line through the tunnel. I'm taking 5th gear, going to hug the inside, just feathering the throttle, a little bit of brake through there. Once we get clear, full on the accelerator as we go across the bridge. 5th gear through the last corner, and then I'm looking for the 200 meter board. I'm going to need to stay to the left of these 2 cars, just getting it slowed down so we don't get into the Sierra. That enables Solis to go around the outside, so all of that work was undone. 3rd through this corner, just feathering the throttle. As soon as we get the steering wheel to 45 degrees, floor the accelerator, front wheel drive, so you get plenty of wheel spin, etc., and pull your way out of the corners. Down into 3rd for this one. We're braking on a change in the barrier into that corner. We'll have a look at that in just a moment. I'm staying in sort of 3rd through here, 2nd for rotation on some of the corners, but then straight back up into 3rd and 4th as you're getting that wheel spin. 200 meter board on that one, slowing it down to 2nd gear for rotation. Again, up into 3rd as soon as we can. As we come up here, I'm going to be looking for third gear through then and slowing it down almost straight away for second gear. I'm hugging the inside here, not necessarily using all of the track that I could be, but these lines are working quite nicely for me in this Mazda, so I'm not too worried. Gone a little bit deep on that corner, so came down into second gear for a little bit of rotation. We really need to settle this down a bit through that tricky, twisty section. You can tell there's brake reference points are difficult, and I'm just going a little bit wide on some of the corners, so just need to slow it down just a little bit. Braking point for this one is just where the tarmac changes colour, down into second gear, and then up into third gear as soon as you can. Get that power down really quickly, and then up through the gears as we come across to finish the lap. So again, as we're reaching the tunnel, I'm going to be looking for fifth gear shortly after we go into the tunnel, just covering that inside line, and then really quickly across the bridge up into sixth briefly before we come down at the fifth for this corner. Again, looking for the 200-meter board, slowing it down to second gear. Unfortunately, catching these two cars means I've had to back out of that slightly. Third gear through this one, coming down to second if you need to for rotation, but third was working quite well there. A nice run off of the corner to go across the bridge, and again on the right hand side here you're looking for that area just where the alcove changes, so where it ends and it dips down into the road. That's where you want to brake and then get it into third or second. I'm using second on a few of these corners just for a bit of rotation. Just got into the side of the Toyota a little bit there. Not my best race ever, this one. I should also add that I'm not the fastest racer, so some of these lines are not great, but this will show you just how quickly you can do this challenge on the hard setting using this Mazda 3 car. So we've just got the Sierra Cosworth in front that's really quick on the straights. We are significantly quicker through the corners, but that car really does move under power. Just look at him pull away right now. I'm struggling to get the power down in this front wheel drive car. The rear wheel drive in that Sierra is really pulling away, although as you can see slow through some of these corners. Lovely little twisty section that. Again, looking for the change in tarmac colour. The Sierra broke slightly earlier than I needed to. That could have been an overtaking opportunity, but we're taking it a little bit careful right now. Again, that Sierra just runs away. The RS500 so fast, disappearing into the distance, but as we enter into the tunnel, just before I get to around about the 100-meter board, they're up in the ceiling, they're very hard to see. So I tend to do that one by feel more than anything else, just getting it down into fifth gear. The Sierra gets it really wrong across the bridge there. I get an opportunity to go up the inside, down into fourth, out third, down into second to get it slowed down. Third gear as soon as we can, but second was all about getting that slowed down through there and getting the rotation. Third gear through here, gone ever so slightly wide to try and get a little bit of distance between myself and the Sierra, which is mighty quick down here. You can see him looming large in the mirrors. Third gear through here, just feathering the throttle, just trying to keep the throttle on as much as we can, just leaving it in third for the moment. Gone a little bit deep, so I've used second gear just to slow it all down with the brakes, just gather that one up. Again through here now I'm going to come down to second gear. Again, it's a little bit deep, just missing the braking points ever so slightly, so I'll leave you to pause and rewind this video because it isn't one of my best. This track is one that I'm not used to, so the video is not one of my best at this point, but you can pause and rewind the video to see exactly where I'm braking and turning in, and then just adjust accordingly if you are having problems. So again, it would have been nicer to have just held the inside line, gone into that just a little bit slower, held the inside line through that corner. But it doesn't matter too much. We're 2 seconds ahead of the Sierra behind at the moment, and keeping that at roughly 2 seconds at the moment. Looking for the change in tarmac colour, down into second gear, picking up the apex, on the power as soon as we can, up into third when you're starting to get that wheel spin, or up into third as soon as you can, and then as we come across the start and finish line to start the last lap. Now again we've got to do all the same, so through the tunnel, 1, 2, 3 of the boards, down into 5th, through the tunnel, onto the bridge, up into 6th, down at the 5th for this corner, looking for that 200-meter board, down on the brakes, 2nd gear for a bit of rotation, just leave it in 2nd, up into 3rd, midway through the corner. That gives us a little bit of traction. 3rd through here now, I'm just taking it a little bit slower. So that was okay. Possibly 2nd through there, but 3rd was alright. Looking for where the arm cove on the right hand side disappears, so right there, down into 3rd gear, down into 2nd for a bit of rotation, up into 3rd, and then we're going to come down into 2nd again for this corner. Again, this is 2nd just for the rotation more than anything else. This Mazda, it's quick, but it can be a bit of a handful with the front wheel drive and the wheel spinning and everything else, so lots and lots and lots of work on the gears through this one. Just again using the inside of the track there, whereas we could have used a compound corner trick on that one and apex the first, gone out to the outside of the corner and then come back in to apex the inside, but we would need to do that if we're running daily races. The same with this one, we'd need to take a better line. But with these AI races, they are so easy to do, even on the hard settings. Most of these are very, very easy once you've got the right car, the right setup. And even when I don't know the track very much, I'm going to bring this one home probably 5 seconds ahead of that fast charging Cosworth behind. Lap times are 2:04, 2:01, 1:59 and 2 minutes. This one is going to be around about the 2-minute one again, maybe slightly over. So around about the same sort of time, but that is how I have managed to get first and the gold trophy at the Grand Valley Highway race for these turbo cars. Very, very easy. Like I said, the lines weren't fantastic, but we were 4 seconds ahead of the Sierra behind. A huge 7.5 seconds, or just over 7.5 seconds to the Supra in 3rd. 22 seconds to the 4th place runner. So a very, very, very easy drive. We've got the fastest lap as well with a 1:59.559 into the bargain. So maybe not my obvious choice of car. Normally go with the BMW VGT, but the Mazda was perfectly okay around there. It did very, very well. Picked up a ticket for that particular run, first run of the day. And yep, that will be my recommendation. So either go with the BMW VGT that I feel is a little bit more planted, a bit easier to drive. The Mazda is very, very quick, but you've got that front wheel drive that you're going to need to handle with the spinning of the wheels. So it's a very planted car, it's very quick, it's very easy to handle, you can turn in very easily, it's very forgiving, but you will need to be working the gears. So 2nd gear for a lot of the turn-ins, up into 3rd gear as soon as you can to handle the wheel spin. Otherwise, very, very easy run. So I hope you've liked this video. If you found it useful, please hit the like button, and if you are new around here, please hit the subscriber button as well to support the channel. If you're a subscriber back for more, thank you ever so much for your continued support. In the meantime, I will see you on another video coming very soon. For now, take care. Bye bye.